If you've ever wondered whether or not you're in a truly healthy relationship or if you're just kind of settling for just okay, then this video is going to be for you. I hear all the time from my couples and couples therapy that they want to know what a healthy relationship really looks like so they can picture what kind of goals they should be striving for. And with the individuals that I work with in individual therapy, they often ask me, am I in a truly healthy relationship or should I leave? And I think that that is a valid question to ask. If you are in a position where you're in a relationship, but you're wondering if it's good or a right fit for you, then this conversation today, I think, is going to be really helpful. So if you don't know me or are new to this channel, my name is Wes. I am a couples therapist based in Chicago. And on this channel, I give you practical tips around relationships and mental health to make sure that you can improve your relationships, because I think that the world is a better place when people have stronger, deeper connections. So without further ado, let's talk about today's topic. Signs of a truly healthy relationship. And I think the first one to begin with is trust. Now, if we look at Dr. John Gottman's model of a healthy relationship, it's the sound relationship house. And he has a bunch of different floors on this house that signify different pieces of a relationship. The wall of this relationship house is trust. And that's for good reason. Trust permeates everything within a relationship. Trust is not just about being okay with your partner leaving the house and going and meeting up with friends or going out at night, although it is a big part of that. But it's also about trusting that your partner is going to show up for the relationship. They're going to show up in small ways, like taking care of things around the house without you asking them to. And they'll show up in big ways, like not cheating on you or entering into an emotional affair with someone else. So trust really permeates a solid relationship, and it's really the bedrock upon which a good relationship is built. If you are interested in building more trust in your relationship, or you feel like that trust is not there, then how do you go about building better trust? Well, the first step is to take a small step. Dr. John Gottman has a podcast called Small Things Often, which I highly recommend. And it's called that because relationships are built on doing the small things often. And that's how you build trust. You commit to something simple, like picking up dinner, for example, for your partner, and then you follow through. And that act of following through helps build trust over time. Trust can also be about reassurance, reassuring your partner that things will be okay when you do go out with your friends or you do meet up with someone after work. And then by them seeing that that actually was the case, you were able to hold boundaries outside of your relationship, they're able to tell that that trust was maintained and that you followed through. That's how trust is built. The next sign is adaptability. Now, healthy couples are adaptable. In fact, in Dr. Sue Johnson's research, she talks about how adaptability leads to resilience, and healthy partners are ones that act as a team. So adaptability is really about becoming a team player with your partner. It's about we-ness instead of I-ness. And in the healthiest relationships, partners are able to work together as a team to adapt to unforeseen circumstances. I was working with a couple just recently who needed to face some financial instability that they were going through. And in order to do that, they had to make some hard decisions about how to manage their family finances. And that required some sacrifices on each of their sides. However, they chose to navigate that together and find a path forward that honored both partners' desires and really showed that they were acting as a team. Now, that adaptability to unforeseen and sometimes hard circumstances, and I think that that is a healthy sign. The next sign is that a healthy couple shows respect and encouragement to each other. Respect and encouragement is really about not talking down to your partner, about not criticizing your partner, which is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that Dr. John Gottman talks about in his books, lead to relationship decline. But it's also about building your partner up. It's about respecting that your partner is an individual in this relationship. And you respect that your partner has their own dreams, their own wishes, their own desires, and has their own individual life. And by encouraging them to pursue these things and really develop themselves as an individual, you show that you respect them, their desires, their individuality. And it's really an act of love, I think. to honor that other person. So if your partner is doing that to you, is encouraging you to be yourself, your authentic self, act as you really want to act, and be an individual who pursues their own dreams in addition to the couple's goals you guys share, and your partner treats you with respect, not just inside the context of the relationship, but outside of the context of the relationship in front of other people too, by not talking down to you, by building you up, by showing you love and respect in front of others. That's a huge healthy sign. Healthy sign number 4 is really about good communication. In a healthy relationship, partners are able to communicate effectively. Now look, every partner that comes to couples therapy wants help with communication. And I think it's important to really work on this because it's a skill that you can build up over time. But what does healthy communication really look like? Well, healthy communication doesn't mean that you get it right every time. I think that's the big thing to notice here. Healthy communication is communication where both partners feel safe. They feel safe and secure to bring things up that are bothering them while knowing that the other person is not going to shoot them down or brush them off or roll their eyes. I think healthy communication comes down to a few things. One is this element of safety. Healthy communication looks like being able to safely and securely communicate with your partner about things that are bothering you and about needs that you have. Now, things that are bothering you could escalate into a bigger conflict, but in healthy partnerships, the couple is able to communicate together about the things that are bothering them and know that the other person is going to hear them out. Even if it might be something that's difficult to talk about, they have the ability to safely communicate that and know that they'll be heard. The other element of communication is being able to communicate needs. Being able to mention to your partner something that you care about, that you need from them, or a boundary that needs to be set, such as I need alone time right now, requires security and requires feeling safe in the relationship. So being able to communicate in that way is a huge healthy sign. The next sign is that a healthy couple respects each other's boundaries and they feel comfortable setting them. Setting a boundary can be really difficult because a lot of us were raised to feel uncomfortable speaking up for ourselves. But when you have a boundary and you're able to identify what that boundary is, such as, I really need alone time right now, or when we're around your parents, I really need you to support me with taking time for ourselves. That kind of boundary can be hard to set, but in healthy relationships, both partners feel comfortable speaking up about them and knowing that the other partner is going to respect them. This can take some work, especially if you are someone that fears conflict and fears bringing up your own needs. But the healthiest relationships are one where both partners feel comfortable bringing these things up to each other because they know that their partner is going to listen to them, hear them out, and respect their desires if that boundary needs to be set. Okay, so here's a little bit of a lighter one. One sign of a healthy relationship is laughter and playfulness. This is something that gets overlooked, I think, when we're looking at when we're talking about relationships and things that a healthy relationship should have, because we get into this really serious mode of you need to be able to have boundaries and trust and these big things. But if you're not having fun with your partner, if you're not able to be light and playful and laugh and think that the other person's funny, then the relationship is probably not going to last. And if it does last, then you may not be very happy. And in the end, we want to have happy, fulfilling relationships with our partner. So make sure that you're in a relationship where things feel light, where you feel like you're able to joke and have fun together, where you're still flirting even after you've been in the relationship for a while or are married. Because those types of things, playfulness, laughter, are the things that really bring joy to the relationship and help things last for the long term. Another sign of a healthy relationship are shared goals and values. Now, these don't have to be exactly lined up, okay? One person may really want to focus on their career and be a high achiever, and the other person may really want to focus on developing their family life or really care about their creative pursuits. And that's totally fine. I think people can have personal goals within a relationship, and as we talked about before, those should be encouraged and reinforced by the other person. However, you need to have some shared goals and some shared values. You need to be aligned on how you want to be pursuing life in the grand scheme of things. because in the grand scheme of things, hopefully you're going to be together as a unit facing the world for a long time. And so having shared goals, shared values can be a really healthy sign of a strong relationship. Here's a tip for this. Have a monthly vision talk, or if not monthly, quarterly, or even yearly. We like to do this when we talk about New Year's resolutions. Sit down and talk about like how you want your life to be going. Are there big goals you want to achieve together? Do you feel like your life is going in the direction that you want it to be going in? Try to have one of these talks every now and then on a regular cadence so you can reinforce this sense of shared values, shared goals, and the idea that you're both kind of pursuing the same things in life. The next sign is comfort and emotional safety. And I talked about this a little bit with trust. One of the biggest theories that informs relationship counseling is the theory of attachment theory. Attachment theory talks about secure attachment being kind of the ideal that we all strive for in our relationships. And what a secure attachment means is that you feel emotionally safe and secure with the other person. You feel able to share your emotional world with them, and they're able to respond in a way that feels safe for you. To foster this practice of emotional safety, it can be really helpful to offer your partner reassurance. You can say things like, I appreciate you sharing this with me, or ask them questions about their emotional world and what's going on for them. Getting really curious here and trying really hard to understand what matters to them can go a long way to creating that kind of sense of safety that we're striving for and that healthy relationships embody. The final sign of a healthy relationship is curiosity. So I think this is kind of interwoven throughout a lot of the things we've talked about so far. But in my healthiest couples, I see both partners being really curious about their partner's world, about their emotional landscape, about the big things in life and the little things. And that sense of curiosity can sometimes wane over time if you're in a long-term relationship. So it takes work. It takes really trying to cultivate that with your partner. It takes remembering that your partner is an ever-evolving person, and you should try to get to know them at least a little bit all the time. So a good way to start this is just to be curious about the little things in their day. Ask them how their day went, get really detailed with them. Like tell me what's going on in your work. Tell me about your hopes, fears, dreams, concerns, and let the conversation evolve from there. That curiosity is going to help you learn to be a better partner by responding to the things in their life that you're able to respond to. And it will give the other person a sense that they are secure with you and safe with you because they're able to share things and know that you're interested in them. So it really goes back to a lot of the healthy signs that we've talked about already. And one bonus sign of a healthy relationship for you is a growth mindset. Now, as I mentioned at the top of this video, no couple is going to be able to check every single box on this list. And if you can, you probably still have room for growth. And that's where the growth mindset comes in. Recognize that part of your job of being in a relationship and making that relationship healthy is to be constantly growing, constantly trying to push your relationship to new heights, and think about yourself as an ever-evolving thing. The relationship's only going to get better if you both continue to put work in, no matter where you're starting from. And I think this is really important for any kind of relationship in order to keep it healthy, even if things are going well. So let me know down in the comments below which one of these things resonated the most for you. And if there's any other video topics that you feel really interested in hearing from me about, I'll be making more content like this in the future. And if you've tuned in so far, thank you so much. I'll see you next week.